Hey yo, my name is Frank. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Montreal, as you can hear from my accent. So this is my 2022 Mk8 GTI. Love the little girl. She's been treating me well, and I've been treating her well too. And hopefully you guys enjoy the video.
All right, you guys, welcome back. Behind me, yeah, it's a Mk8 GTI, and you're probably like, hey, Marcus, you drove a GTI like a month ago from Tim over at, of course, T3 Performance, but it was a DSG and my audio equipment failed. It was a fail of a video. Thanks, guys, for the feedback, though. I love that you enjoyed it. But nonetheless, this one behind me here today is a 6-speed manual. So we're just gonna go for a quick drive, see how it stacks up to the DSG. And of course, the Mk8 GTI is effectively one of the very last 4-door or 5-door, it's a hatchback, with a manual transmission, a dying breed. So let's go for a drive. Let's see how it does. This is so strange to me. The seats are half manual and half electric.
Yeah.
The recline is electric, but then you gotta
like
pull it.
more than like full electric in my opinion.
You think so? I mean, this is kind of cool.
Yeah,
this is, yeah, it's old school.
Like a sports car.
Yeah, yeah. This one has an exhaust on it, Miltech exhaust. The one I drove, you guys, in Kelowna, factory exhaust. I was incredibly surprised right out the gate. Rough. Right out the gate, how many crackles VW tuned in from the factory. I mean, it's pretty insane, but of course that comes down to a lot of the times just tuning, and you know, you're able to have different drive modes. Oh yeah, there we go. The factory is very close to what I would consider a burble tune, which was cool for about 6 months. No, I'm kidding. It was not cool ever. But what I prefer is the more unpredictable, like, crackles that come. But I mean, immediately. So the owner of this car has, you know, ditched the factory shift knob, which I've heard a few people criticize in the past. This one's a nice Alcantara knob. Wow, traction control was coming on at 85 clicks at the top of second gear. It is cold out. The one we're driving today is on winter tires. Let me just say something. The amount that VW has changed just in terms of feel, like shifting feel from, let's say, I don't know, just for an example, the Mark IV to this, the Mk8 is huge. The Mark IV has an incredible amount of slop when we're talking about the manual transmission. Other cars, older cars like that, like the E30, have that as well. They've largely kind of fixed that here.
Under the hood, we got a carbon fiber intake from Unitronic. Inside the car, we got a P3 gauge, BFI shift knob, and it's a Moonstone Gray. Exhaust system is a Miltech catback exhaust. Overall, the car software-wise is definitely stock. I know Unitronic just got out with the software. Big shout out to PG Performance for doing all the work on this car, ordered a part. Really, really, really helpful. Located in Surrey, so give them a shout if you need anything Audi or Volkswagen related. Obviously, suspension-wise, SoloWorks, Rotiforms with 5mm in the front, 12mm in the back. It's lowered at the maximum that I can lower it with still going skiing. I'm a semi-pro skier, so I do that for a living during the winter. And I'm from a GDM world. I used to do Subaru things, big on Silvias, obviously. R34 Skylines, all the good stuff. But really pleased with this German car right now. It's been treating me well. To be honest, the GTI is a really, really good car. It's really reliable, it's really fun. The Subaru symmetrical all-wheel drive system is just different. It's a total complete day and night from the Golf R. I would not go with a Golf R just in terms of price range for the all-wheel drive system and the Hall decks.
Oh yeah. If you guys watched my Acura Integra video, one of the big complaints about that car is the rev hang. That car has a lot of rev hang, and if you don't know what that is, when you're upshifting, because modern drivers are really not good at driving manual and not used to driving manual. They're used to what? Dual clutches, a lot of nannies. It'll hang the revs, expecting you to be very slow at shifting, but here, 5,000 RPM, the revs drop really quick. So it has the kind of the feeling of having a light flywheel. And so that, of course, a byproduct of that too, is that the response is very good. And of course, going with the manual, you save $800 or thereabouts, option-wise, versus the DSG. It's quick though, even in stock form. And of course, you guys, this is so obvious, but the manual, I mean, it wakes the car up, and it's very easy to get in and drive. I'm actually really happy with the shifting feel. I wasn't fully convinced before I got in, but maybe that's a little bit of my VW bias. All right, we're on some wet pavement here. Second gear, spools by 3,000. Okay, so traction control's off. Maybe stability control's still on a little bit. Maybe not. There was a light to flash, and it did cut power very slightly there. So there's still some electronic nannies, but I mean, let's take a look at the cars that you can actually buy today. If you're looking for a new manual transmission, sorry, we have some things in the back, manual transmission cars that are like a 5-door hatchback, manual transmission, front wheel drive. We have some changes going on. Obviously the Veloster N comes to mind, but that's got 3 doors and then a hatch. And then you have the Type R, which is priced way above the GTI. I mean, it's a Golf R competitor, but they just stuck with front wheel drive. And of course that's like Honda's thing, right? So it's kind of funny. It's kind of ironic when you look back to like the origins of the GTI, kind of, I mean, it started the hot hatch segment, for all intents and purposes, but here in 2022, it's one of the only ones left that's a manual front wheel drive 5-door hatch, and all the competitors have largely kind of left. Subaru, I mean, of course, the new WRX is not a hatch, and they just announced the new RS, but there's no manual. It's a CVT, which for enthusiasts is awful, just pretty much the worst thing I could possibly imagine. And that's what separates, I feel like the chasm between the normal consumer and the enthusiast has separated even further nowadays. But I'm glad that VW is still going forward with the GTI. Now, how much longer will they have a manual turbo hatchback? Who knows? Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, wrong window.
That's fine. So get it to 4, then let it go, and then tap it.
Wow. Yeah, it's cold out, you guys. We're getting a lot of, and not even really torque steer. It's just losing traction, and then of course it's just pulling to one side, right? Now this one's got stock brakes. Brake pedal feel, even though I haven't really dove in too tough, too hard, I mean, the brake feel's still here. I was wondering when I drove Tim's car if that was a thing that was just exclusive because he had changed the front brakes. It's not. It's really good here.
Future mods, obviously, once the warranty is gone, we're going stage 1 plus with Unitronic. So should you if you have a Mark 8. Obviously, the power increase is completely unreal. Future mods, definitely, if there's a wide body kit, I wouldn't mind cutting the whole thing up to make something big and wide. Short shifter, some comfortable stuff. I'm not really seeking power performance mods. I'm really looking for a nice car to look at when I go cruise, keep my car clean. Obviously, I really like the style over the performance. This is just who am I as a person. But yeah, I need the Gulf R wing, I need the Euro tail lights, and a whole front lip, side skirt, rear diffuser would be great. Obviously, carbon fiber would be my priority type of choice, but thank you so much for having me, Marcus. Appreciate that.
All right, you guys, well, quick rip in the GTI. I had to at least after having failed audio. But yeah, I had to drive a manual GTI, and it's nice that I got to drive one. Not quite back to back, but within a month. So yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. Hit me up on Instagram, and you can see what I'm driving on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon.